I'm going to call to order the Zoning Board of Appeals meeting of September 4th. That's my favorite thing. First order of business is to approve the minutes from the July 24th, 2025 meeting. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Great. Any against? No? Great. Moving on. The board will now conduct the public hearings on today's agenda. First, the applicant or applicant's representative will state the reasons for the requested variance and present any material or documentation which is to be considered regarding the proposal. Next, persons wishing to speak in favor of the proposal will be given the opportunity to address the board. Then, persons who wish to speak in opposition will be allowed to address the board. Finally, the applicant or representative will be given the option to make any closing arguments or comments to the board. Following the public hearings this afternoon, the board may make a decision on each application heard. The board may also decide to hold its decision until the next public hearing. If the hearing is closed, no additional information will be allowed into the record except for information that the board may request. That information will be available for public review at the zoning office in One Park Place, 300 South State Street. Would staff introduce V2506, please?
Good afternoon. First up is an area variance to encroach on the minimum 4-foot side setback requirement for a primary structure. Application V-2506 at 520 Cortland Ave, owned by John and Gladys Thomas. This is in the R2 zone district.
Is there anybody here to speak in favor of the application, or is the applicant here? Okay, if you want to speak or not.
Come up and explain what we're doing here, Name and address.
My name is John W. Thomas Sr. I provide at 520 Cortland Avenue. I've been there 51 years. I'm 86 years old. My wife is 85, and we decided we needed the addition to help us navigate our way from having to go up and down the stairs. That's where our food pantry and stuff is. And we thought it would be more economical to have an enclosed porch where we could move everything upstairs. And my son and I, we worked all last summer, I mean, summer before they put the foundation and porch in, not realizing that it wasn't parallel to the property line. We started from the south end of the building, and we did the same thing on the northeast end, and realizing afterwards that it wasn't the distance that we needed, and I didn't know that until we applied for the permit. And at my age, it's not easy for me to go up and down stairs. Now my wife, one of the kids will have to go, or my wife will have to make her way down there, because up and down the stairs is not easy for me. That's why we needed the back porch. And maybe...
Sir, can I just have one question regarding that. So you're saying, just so I'm clear, and I'm looking at the photo of what you started, you're saying instead of going into the basement for the food pantry, it would be limited to just going out the side door and up a couple stairs into the side porch? Is that accurate?
Say what now?
And because it looks like you would still need to walk upstairs to get into the side porch that you want to finish constructing, either from the exterior or from the side door. It's elevated.
No, I don't have to walk upstairs. I'll walk up 2 steps to get to the porch from my kitchen. But if
Right, that was the question. You're saying, you're comparing walking up just a couple stairs to the porch instead of the basement. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay, all right, understood.
So the height of this door is not going to change.
The side door.
On the side of the house.
Side door onto the porch there.
No, the side door, that's not going to change.
Okay.
So there would be some steps up from the side door,
steps.
in 2 steps up to
Yeah.
the, okay. And then there would be a rear door. Is that what looks
Yes.
like is framing
It
in
would be
there?
a rear door.
Okay.
Excuse, now is this you're calling this a porch? Is this a porch or a room you're putting on?
That's the porch. That's the addition that I was putting on. and my son was helping me do it. And we needed to get different permits and stuff that I wasn't aware that I had to get to do it, and that's why we're here.
It'll be fully enclosed.
It's going to be fully enclosed.
Will it be heated and cooled?
Will it be heated?
Is it connected to your furnace system? I don't know if there's any
No.
ductwork under here. Just curious.
Any other questions from the board for the applicant?
Who decided on the maximum width of the patio originally? Was that just standard lumber or?
No, well, we had a deck there the same size. And when all the kids got grown and left except my granddaughter, we decided we didn't need the deck anymore. We needed a porch where we could move everything upstairs. We wouldn't have to go down, up and down the stairs to a pantry and get our supplies and utensils and stuff to cook with. And as I got older, my legs wasn't that good.
Understood. But I think it was noted the original porch was smaller. So when you went to enlarge the porch.
51 years ago, it was smaller. We had a deck the same size as what we had,
Got it.
It was just a little stoop when we bought the house. And we took that down and put a deck out there, the same size as the porch. Then we decided we didn't need the deck anymore. We needed the enclosed porch more, so then we needed the deck. As we got older, it just did. And she's 1 year behind me, and her.
Understood. Thank you.
So let me get this clear. You're going to go out that door, then you got to go up 2 steps to get to the floor.
Yes.
Right? And then you're going to go to that other opening, and then if you want to go outside, you got to go down more steps, so about 3 or 4
To
more
go outside,
steps.
we got to go down 4 steps, just like
4
the
steps
entry.
more.
Yes.
Okay. Liam, Karen, Otis?
No, I'm good.
Liam? Okay. Thank you.
You don't want to hear from my wife?
Not unless she wants to speak more. You're welcome to. Any other folks who wish to speak in favor of the application? Sure.
Good afternoon. My name is Phil Prain. I'm an organizer for Syracuse United Neighbors. We work on the south and near west sides of the city.
Could you share your address, please?
Sure.
Thank you.
1540 South Salina
Thank you.
Street. I'm here for 2 reasons today. First of all, Mr. Thomas came to us and asked for advice on this, and we looked at it, and we're just puzzled that 6 inches is causing such a problem. But we understand the need to go through proper procedures, but that's why we're here today, to speak in favor of this, which is generally being done for reasons of accessibility. As Mr. Thomas mentioned, he's 86 years old, and this is going to help him. Regardless of the fact that there are still a couple stairs or not, it's a lot better than having to go all the way down to the basement and back. I would also, and the second reason I'm here is I've been working at Syracuse United Neighbors as an organizer for 25 years, and Mr. Thomas predates, his membership at Sun predates my being there. He's always been a passionate supporter of our neighborhoods, coming out to meetings, speaking at public hearings. I would urge you to give him all due consideration of this project, which would be an unalloyed benefit to our neighborhood. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Anybody else who wishes to speak in favor of the application? Wouldn't be the same without
My
you,
knee's
Walt.
bad. Walt Dixie, Jubilee Homes of Syracuse. My knee's bad now.
Need your address,
86.
Walt.
But yeah, we support them. We know Phil. We know the family. I know who they are, and it's a great opportunity for them to continue to still be busy. So you inspired me today, staying busy. Thank you.
Can you just give us an address, please?
119 South Ave.
Thank
And
you.
your name, please? I don't know who you are from Adam.
Walt Dixie. Walter Dixie.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks, Walt. Anybody who wishes to speak against the application? No? Okay. I'm going to call that public hearing closed then. All right. Discussion, do you want to do both the public hearings, or do you want to discuss now?
No, we do them one at a time, so discussion.
Sorry, I had a brief one. Discussion from the board on this matter.
And I just don't see where 6 inches is a major issue here. So,
The words right out of my mouth.
Agreed.
Well, 6 inch- It's a weird design, but on the other hand, 6 inches, like you say, is not a lot. So.
Does anybody want to make a motion? What is happening?
Seeker.
Oh,
You don't do secret for
I'll make a motion that we approve the requests.
anybody want to take a second?
Second.
Great.
So,
Subject to the conditions.
yeah, staff just has a couple of recommendations for the board for conditions. So if you are going to choose to recommend conditional approval, the applicant should apply for and obtain a building permit, but I would also strongly recommend they engage with a design professional so that they can appropriately comply with the New York State Uniform Code, the residential code, the energy code. So the 6 inches, it matters for fire separation distance to the adjacent house, and that wall has to meet certain standards, and they, I would strongly urge that they get help to do so.
Thank you.
That's it.
Okay. So given that additional condition on your motion, Otis, would you like to take us through the standards of proof?
Sure.
Thank you.
Neighborhood character, describe whether an undesirable change will produce in the character of the neighborhood or a detriment to the nearby properties will create by granting this area variance. And I do not see that the proposed enclosed porch will alter the essential character of the neighborhood. Feasibility of alternatives, describe whether the benefits sought by the applicant can be achieved by some other methods that will be feasible for the applicant to pursue other than the area variance. And in my opinion, there are no other feasible alternatives outside of tearing down the whole porch and starting from scratch. And given the age of the house and the neighborhood, I still don't see where 6 inches is a real issue here. And substantiality, describe whether the request area variances substantial, and the variance request is a modest one. And I think they look at some of those recommendations that were put forth to make sure that going forward they meet all the other criteria. I think it would be very effective. An adverse effect, describe whether the proposed area variance will have an adverse effect or impact on the physical or environmental conditions in the neighborhood or district, and there will be no adverse effects. Self-created difficulty, describe whether an alleged difficulty was self-created, with consideration shall be relevant to the decisions of the Board of Appeals, but should not necessarily preclude the granting of the area variance. Now, true that was 6 inches short, but the need for this area variance, and once again, in my opinion, is not self-created. I believe that, once again, given the age of the home and neighborhood, I think we could live with the 6 inches.
Anything to add?
I would say that it is self-created, but I don't think that's against the project in that sense.
You just are creating a balancing test based among the 5 factors, and it sounds like 3 of the factors are are met. So you're safe even with that.
Excellent. All right. All those in favor of the variance, including the conditions as outlined by staff?
Aye.
Anybody against? All right. Thank you very much. Would staff please introduce the next agenda item?
Next is an area variance to exceed the 180-foot maximum building length for a newly built multi-unit dwelling building at 680-682 South Ave. Owner, Greater Syracuse Property Development Corp. Representative and applicant is Keplinger Freeman. This is in the MX2 zone district. One other thing, the Planning Commission has finished and deliberated and motioned for a negative seeker declaration for the proposed apartment project, which includes the major site plan review and a re-subdivision. So we do not have to do seeker.
Great. I love when the Planning Commission does that for us. Okay. I understand we have some recusals.
Yes, I need to recuse. The land bank owns this land currently.
I have to recuse. I'm on the project team.
Great. You guys can't vote. Is there anybody here who would like to speak on behalf of the project?
Thank you for having us here. Christian Freeman from Keplinger Freeman Associates.
And everybody, please, when you introduce yourself, we also need an address.
Sure.
Thank you.
121 Ruskin Ave, Syracuse.
Kenan Bigby with Build Properties. I'm the developer of this project in partnership with Jubilee Homes. Don't have a Syracuse address. Do you still want my address for
Still
the
need an
record?
address,
2 Granite Ave, Milton, Mass.
Jeff Taw from Holmes King Calquist Architects, 119 Aberdeen Terrace.
Thank you.
Walt Dixie, Jubilee Homes, 119 South Ave.
Thank you. Someone making a presentation?
Yeah, I thought I would just give a little bit of context about the project and then turn it over to the design team to talk the technical aspects. So 680 South Ave is a new construction multifamily rental development project. We are undertaking this project as part of Jubilee Homes Connecting the Corridors initiative, which is a neighborhood revitalization program aimed at investing in the South Ave corridor and reconnecting that to downtown to create job opportunities and training opportunities and benefits for the community. It is one of many projects that are being undertaken under this community initiative, but it is sort of a core component in that it is providing mixed income family housing, a type of housing that is somewhat lacking currently in the community. We are also designing the building to be highly energy efficient. We'll be seeking passive house certifications, including an all-electric building with solar panels on the roof. And as part of the construction here, we'll be providing floodplain mitigation. The building site is partially in a Zone AE floodplain, and so mitigation associated with that is part of the design. In order to bring this project to fruition with those floodplain challenges led to some reconfiguring of how the building lays out. We tried really hard to comply with the MX2 zoning requirements. We recognize the work that went into creating these new zones, and we're appreciative of the vision behind them and wanted this project to really be a showcase for those newly created higher density zones. the challenges with the site led to, as I said, some modifications that require this one requested variance in order to deliver the project.
Thank you.
I can speak briefly to site. Kenan mentioned we are in that floodplain zone. The 394 contour represents the floodplain zone on our site. As you probably well know, when building in the floodplain, you need to have habitable spaces 2 feet above that. That also includes things like utilities, anything that could go boom and cause some kind of an issue. I would argue that the previous use of these 8 lots was residential homes. They were built at a time when the floodplain was either not studied nor not existent. I would argue that a building such as this, which is exponentially higher tech, thought through and adherent to flood standards, we're going to carefully consider those to the city metric. We're in touch with Russ Hauk. We're also dealing with the state and the funding that's associated with that. So we're held to a myriad of just rules and regs to follow related to flood. I would just argue that a building such as this, despite its size, is going to adhere to those standards in such a way that 8 individually designed buildings would likely not adhere to those flood requirements if you were to replace them in kind or even replace them with a fresh new design. So that's me just sort of speaking as far as a support item in terms of our adherence to those criteria. Regarding the site, the road slopes, so our frontage is such that we're really meeting the sidewalk on the front of the building, and the site really just falls off on the back. And so what we've done there is sort of shifted the grades around such that you have the parking on sort of a false bottom floor, which we think works out well for everyone. You have cars parked there, which is an allowable use in the floodplain. And then we have no residential units or anything on the ground floor. They're perched above, which is per floodplain and also works well, so we can get some parking spaces in there and really get some efficiency on the site there. Other than those items, I think I will hold for any questions related to site that you guys might have.
Great. Any questions from the board for the applicant?
I have one.
Go for it.
If the building was built to code at this particular or zoning regulations, would you still face the flooding in that area?
Correct. The site, the contour is such that if, I'm going to use this, if this is your project site, your floodplain's right there. So there's no way to really fit a building that would adhere to the 180 feet without coming into contact with the flood zone, which then it sort of creates this situation where you want to stack, but that lengthens the building as far as program goes to pay for that stacking. Podium design is really expensive. Floodplain work is expensive. It's just the reality.
Anything else from the board for the applicants? No? Okay. Is there anybody else who would like to speak in favor of the project?
Yeah, so as you know, 7 years ago, we built a supermarket across the street. We had DR funds, Red Sea funding, and the dream was always to rebuild the neighborhood. Since that time, I will apologize, we'll send you out the updated version of Connected Quarter. We have a gas station coming online. We have a seafood restaurant home headquarters we're partnered with that's coming online. This is in the same, in between, like one's on this side, one on this side, left and right. But we also are rebranding our farm that's right behind Price Right. So the area is really revitalizing, it's coming together. And so we appreciate Kenneth and our partnership over 4 years. We've been having these conversations to move this project. And we talked to some of our public officials, and just the fact that we're having 3 bedrooms in the building, mixed use income. We didn't want something that was just low income to really diversify the neighborhood. So we're excited about the project. Hope you give us consideration to continue our dream. Thank you.
Great. Thank you. Anybody else who wishes to speak in favor? Thank you. Anybody who wishes to speak against the project? Seeing none, I will call this public hearing closed. Okay. Discussion. You guys can't talk. Nothing?
No, just reading from the staff analysis that it states that extending the building length is the only feasible method to accommodate the proposed number of residential units required. So just in terms of feasibility.
Great. What is Karen, Michael?
That's a good idea, yeah.
Okay. Would anybody like to make a motion on this application?
As you do that, keep in mind, in addition to the general conditions of approval, there are 3 specific recommended conditions of approval in your packet on page 31.
Do you want me to read those into the resolution?
You can just say the 3
Okay.
conditions on page 31.
Excellent.
A motion to approve.
Great. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Great, thanks. Liam, could you take us through the balancing test?
Yes. I think in terms of neighborhood characteristics, this is going to be great for the neighborhood characteristics. It's a busy, traversed street that has a lot of vacant property, so I think it's just going to be good to add some life back to it. Where am I? For the feasibility of alternatives, I would just go back to what staff said, that given the nature of the flood zone and the need for these units, the only feasible way to go about this would be an expansion of the length of the building. For substantiality, I think it is relatively substantial, but again, because of the flood zone and the different requirements, I think given those unique circumstances, this makes sense. As far as adverse effect analysis, I can't think of any adverse effects. I think this is going to be really good for the neighborhood. And as far as it being self-created, again, I think because of the flood zone and just the nature of the site itself, I do not believe it's self-created.
Anything? Okay. I just note that technically it is self-created, but as a balancing test, we don't need to. It doesn't outweigh the rest of the factors. Okay. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? 2 of you? All right. Thank you. Approved. Can I have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
Is there any other business?
I don't think there's any other business.
No,
other business.
nothing else.
Second?
Second.
We are adjourned at 1:29.
Thank you.